You're listening to the Write Project podcast and radio program, a show about writing and modern Newfoundland author culture. This program is produced and recorded at CHMR FM 93.5 FM in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, and is aired on other great stations in the province and elsewhere in the country. It can also be heard online at www.chmr.ca. I'm your host, Matthew LeDrew. I'm here with the magical fairy princess, Kit Sora.
Hi!
Hi! How are you today?
Fantastic.
And as soon as she came into my air quotes studio, air quotes, the lights immediately went out and will not come back on. So I'm not sure what she's the princess of, but I think darkness.
Could be darkness. Oh, darkness.
Most of you probably know Kit from her photos. She has a strong following on Facebook. She does photography. She also works at Newfoundland Canvas. Our readers may know her best as the artist/author behind Kit Sora, the Autobiography, a book that came out in December and has been selling quite well. She broke some sales records at Chapters a few weeks back and had a lot of fun doing it. Kit Sora, the Autobiography is a book of her fabulous art and art photography with accompanying flash fiction by some of the province's best authors. So we've got some Vicky Barber in there, we've got some Peter Foote in there, we've got some Kate Robbins, a little bit of me, Matthew LeDrew. I only put in one story. We had some contest winners. We were running the contest for a while. Ellen Curtis painted the filigree as well as contributed, I think, 3 short stories. There's a whole bunch of different authors in there. What did you think of the book, Kit?
It's pretty surreal.
Tell me why. Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, you never really think that you're gonna make it, I guess. I don't know if that sounds weird, but just seeing your stuff printed with text and like what is it they call it? Like the library number? Like I have one of those now.
The library and archives number, or the ISBN.
There you go, fancy terminology. I have one of those now.
An international standard book number.
Right? Like people know me.
Yes.
I don't know, I never really dreamed it would be a thing. So it's pretty cool. Seeing it all come together and all of the crazy talent on the island and beyond with all of the people who've contributed to my madness. It's been quite the adventure.
Yeah, it's very cool. The amount of people who contributes to the contest, the monthly Kit Sora contest, is still going on. You take part in the judging, or people from your team, but it's fun. Like people seem to really be latching onto it. It's growing. We get new people contributing to it every month. It's crazy. Yeah,
I like it. It's good. I don't know. It's pretty cool to see people interpreting what I'm doing. Because, when I'm shooting, obviously, I have this baseline story in my head, but I never really tell it. Like, I'll shoot it how I feel like it should be shot and told, but then I leave it completely open-ended. And, I might give it a title that might give something away, but... So
do you have your own stories in your head? Because I have you listed on our website as an author. It's just you tell your pictures with words, and it's the whole, a picture says 1,000 words kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, there's always some form of like a base story. It's never very, it could be in depth, I guess, when I set out to shoot, but I don't know, I kind of keep it on the inside and let people do the rest. I don't want to do it all.
No, that makes perfect sense. Can you tell me about, not the latest one, because I haven't had a chance to dissect it like I usually do, but the one from last week, the one with the key.
The key! That sparked quite the conversations. I've gotten a lot of people wondering if I know, or the character in the photo knows that there's something in the lock, that she's guarding it, or if she's, looking around to see if there's anybody looking for her to sneak in with the key. I don't really want to give that one away. I kind of like the open-endedness to that one.
Oh, I took it a completely different way.
Ooh,
I've never played it, but I really enjoy Kingdom Hearts. I took it as like it was a keyblade. It's a weapon.
Yeah, then I've had people mention Kingdom Hearts as well. And I've only recently started playing the games because I saw the props at like Spirit Halloween for the actual Keyblades. And I'm like, oh, I want to play that game because Disney. Hello. Yeah. So I'm only like 2 worlds in. So people have mentioned Kingdom Hearts and I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. It's not quite the same thing, but I never actually made the connection between the key being like the weapon.
Yeah.
So that's see, but
and then my question is always like, okay, are you human-sized and the key is like a keyblade, or is the key-sized and you're using it as a weapon, but you're tiny, like the littles? It was cool.
I don't know. I feel like in my head, I'm really tiny. I'm tiny and the key is large. I like the kind of, because, you know, like if you look at little elf ears, like, you know, you picture like fairies and elves to be a little bit tinier. I don't know why I have this unruly obsession with giant props lately, but
I really liked it after your last 52 ended. So you do a 52 challenge with yourself every year where you do 52 photos in a year, usually on Sunday, usually at the end of the week.
it sort of worked out that way, yeah.
Yeah, usually. But last year you were doing all props, and that worked out really well for the contest because like people always have something cool to do it with. But this year you were going to do stuff again. And when I saw the props again, I was like, oh yay, more props. Big key. Yes, please.
It was kind of an accident. I was torn between like 8 different themes, and I couldn't just commit to one. So I'm like, shag it. Let's leave it pretty open-ended and just call it 52 Adventures.
Yeah.
So now I can, you know, either adventure to different places and sort of shoot for like the location, or I can, you know, it can be the adventure through making the prop that I'm using, or I could tell a story which is an adventure. You know, again, with the open-endedness, I let you make it your own because I'm lazy, I guess. I don't know.
I want to turn one of the alternate images from the key because you posted up a bunch of the like the B-roll, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take. I think it would make a good fantasy cover. I almost want to take it, and even if we don't have something for it ourselves, I want to just like put it up on the internet and like, here's the money kit, and just like I'm gonna start making these into book covers.
Is that the one where I was kind of like pointing it at the people?
Yes.
Yeah. So my original intention was to use that as the shot. I was shooting for that the entire time, and it was only towards the end that I'm like, you know what, shag it, let's mix it up a little bit for some like behind the scenes shot. And that ended up being the one, and it's crazy and stupid how it works, but it's just, it fit.
So, do you have a certain amount of time between when you post up a picture and when you want it used in the contest? Or would you, like, should people start preparing for the key story now, knowing that it'll probably come up?
I mean, they should always be prepared. If Scar has taught us anything, it's to be prepared. And I don't think there should be, like, a specific timeline between waiting. I mean, whenever you get excited.
I'm very excited about the key. I would have put up the key this week, but I thought it was too soon. What can people look forward to from you coming up? Any cool ideas on the horizon?
Lately, I've been sort of living week to week. So, I mean, probably, but maybe not, but likely, but you never know. So stay tuned, I guess.
Okay, so where are some of your inspirations for your photos come from? Like, what did you have? Basically, this is a weird, sounds judgmental way of asking, how did you get this way? Like, when sorry, that sounds mean, but it's really not meant to be. So, like, when I think about how I became the author I am, I can think back on the media that influenced me. So I can think of, like, the books I read that really influenced my style, or the TV shows, or the movies, or the things that made me who I... Like, a lot of people see a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in my early work, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that, absolutely. If you tried, how would you categorize how you got this way? Like, what was your... It doesn't have to be other photographers, it could be other media or whatever like that, but where are the pieces that made you you?
I mean, aside from the corny response of, I was born this way.
Oh, yes, well...
Cue Lady Gaga song. I don't know, I grew up with fairy tales, and I grew up as an avid Disney fan, so mermaids and all that fun stuff. And my parents were weird and wonderful and into all those strange, sort of like medieval type shows and like the darker sort of fairy tales, and I guess I sort of latched onto that and ran with it. And then, of course, when I got older and I figured out I could actually do stuff, and I wanted to sort of tell my own stories, but as you can tell, I'm pretty crappy when it comes to words.
Not at all.
And it takes me forever to formulate a paragraph because I'll erase everything 800,000 times.
That's typical.
So, yeah, but I don't like it. Like, I'm impatient, so...
But you write story times. You have a blog on the engine
That's
thing.
Literally just me describing what I did that day,
That's
starting
all
with,
writing
like,
is.
breakfast.
That's all writing is.
I know, but like,
But you're just
words.
describing stuff that someone else did, and that person's typically made up.
And then you're trying to sound like smarter and use big words.
Nobody does that.
Well, good. That's why
No
I don't, because I take pictures. And I
Yeah,
can just
no author tries to sound smarter or anything like that. There's an old joke. The author said the curtains were blue. The professor says, oh, he's telling us about the character's deep depression and this and all these other things. And then it's like, what the author meant. That the curtains were blue. Like, that's it.
Well, I don't know how you write, but I try to sound smart when I make sentences. So, aside from when I'm talking, because
You sound very smart.
I'm really bad on the spot, so I giggle a lot.
So, can you tell us, and I don't think I have one right here, which is shameful, can you tell us about some of the photos from in the book? Like, I've gotten you to do this 100 times now, but
Never gets
can you
old.
tell me about the burning door?
I knew you were going to mention the burning door. I was like, oh, what photos are in the book? The burning door, the burning door.
Yeah.
I set a door on fire in the snow, and it was a great idea for a while. I don't really know why I decided I wanted to set a door on fire. I think my original plan actually was to make an arch out of something and stand under the arch and just set the arch on fire.
I feel like that would have ended with the arch collapsing on you.
It absolutely would have. That's why I didn't go with an arch afterwards. That, and I didn't really know what I would have used to make an arch. And, like, of course, I come up with these brilliant, great ideas on very short notice. So it's like, usually I'll start planning on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure that was like a Saturday morning to afternoon with shoot day being Sunday kind of plan.
It looks so planned, though. Like, you've got your
Oh, yeah.
prop,
I'll always
it's got-
fake it till I make it. But, like, I picked up that door from my parents, like, 10 minutes before we took the photo, and like we ran out of like our lighter didn't work for like the first half when we were trying to like light it, and she was like, oh,
Do you want a new door? I've got a door.
no, well, I've got like 8 in the basement now. I'm ready
People
to go.
just give you doors now.
No. The house is so old. I guess they just go through doors and they just keep them in the basement. I don't know. But my parents had my sister's old bedroom door because we traded doors. The last house I was in happened to have like 8 doors in the basement as well, so we swapped. And I was like, I want to set a door on fire, and I'm going to make, like, a giant match, and I'm just going to sit in front of it, and it's going to be really cool. And Drew was just like, all right, like, fine. So we picked up some kerosene, and I made a giant match out of botched paper mache and a printer roll tube, and grabbed the door from my parents, and propped it up in the snow with, like, I think we had, like, 2 little wooden blocks that we tucked in behind it to kind of give it security, because it was just in the snow.
But it fell forward.
It eventually fell forward.
Yeah.
Because, funny thing about fire is it melts snow.
Well, yeah, but what I find funny is that you put stuff in the back to secure it so it wouldn't fall over, guaranteeing that it would fall forward.
Well,
Like, if it fell backwards,
I mean, at least it would have caught the thing was the direction of the wind shifted, which I wasn't quite ready for, because it was a fairly windy day, and, Drew was like, oh, I don't know if it's going to be possible, and I'm like, we're here, we have the things, I'm in this dress that barely fits.
How long was the door on fire for? Because I picture it as a very brief thing. Okay.
It was, I had bursts. It would be like, I would get the trigger ready, and Drew would douse it in kerosene, and then light it, and I'd have a steady, like, 10, maybe 15 seconds of, holy crap, it's bright, and then it would kind of die down in, like, really cool
Did you light it multiple times?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
okay.
This was a
That makes more
series. I
sense.
think we gave it like 10 or 15 goes, so like a bunch of little short bursts, because I never know what I want, so I'll like start with like one position and then I'll move it around and make sure I'm not blinking, and I've done that in so many photos. I'm taking the pictures and I'm like, huh? But yeah, it was a bunch of goes, and then we just picked best one.
Yeah.
And the door only fell once. And it only hit me once.
Yeah.
And I totally took a photo of it happening by accident, because of course I was, falling.
Yeah.
So I had the trigger in my hand and I'm like falling. So it's like my arms are reaching out. My mouth is gaping open as I'm kind of like, ah.
Do we have that picture?
No, I don't know where it is. I was going through old hard drives and I couldn't track it down. I don't think I edited it because I didn't want anybody to ever see it. Because it was my plan to keep it a secret. But Drew and his big mouth was
No,
like,
but that's a great story. Like, we tell it every time.
In retrospect now, I'm like, oh, I don't give a damn. But back then, it was only like my second year of doing the 52, and it was like my own thing, and I'm like, this is going to be so cool. So, like, I don't want, the wonky, derpy stuff getting out, and now it's like the one story that Drew will tell strangers. He's like, yeah, this flaming door fell and hit Kit and, like, knocked the wig off her head, and I told her to sit in front of the line.
Well, it's kind of gallows humor. It's kind of this moment where it's like, hey, remember this time that I almost killed my girlfriend? Good times.
No, and in his defense, he did make the line for me to sit in front of, and I decided to sit on the line because I just wanted to be that much closer to the flaming door. So
Yeah.
Here we are.
Not a great idea.
Not a great idea, but like I didn't go up in flames, and the wig's fine, and I got the shot, so...
Speaking of fire, there's a lovely image that you don't like for some reason. I want you to explain why you don't like it. There's a lovely image of you with a pink shirt and a pearl necklace, and there's fire in front of your face. To my silliness, I actually didn't realize that this was... So this is a double exposure.
This is a double exposure. That's me sort of looking terrified next to my fence, and then my fire pit in the middle, which is why, like, if you look at my arms and, like, the dress, you can see the actual orange. That's the light coming from the fire, which is in front of me, like, on the ground.
I cannot see that.
You cannot see that? Or you
No.
can see... Oh, well, I'm tinted orange on the bottom, and then, like, from, like, the chest area up, it's kind of like a cooler tone.
I feel like only you can see that
I
because
could
you
tear this
took
apart
it.
for hours. I hate this one.
Why? So this was one of the ones... It was an interesting process, like, because I've known you for years, but, like, we approached you. We wanted to work with you for a while, and we didn't think that we were good enough to work with Kit Sora.
Please.
And then we asked you if you wanted to do covers, and then we brought you the idea of doing a book, and then it was collaborate and the contest and stuff, and it was a process of going through, and these were one of the ones that I think me and Drew were like, no, this one goes in, and it's your book, so we didn't veto you on much, but we were like, no,
I didn't get a say in this one.
There was bargaining. Because there were others that you were like, nope.
I guess the concept behind this one is kind of cool. In my head, the idea, it worked out visually pretty much what I was
love how
aiming
it covers
for.
up one eye.
Yeah, so that was obviously unintentional, but like flipping through them, the fire, I can't really control what the fire does, but that was the only one that really kind of did that. So I'm like,
you can't control fire?
I'm not good at absolutely everything. Honestly,
Okay.
fire controls me.
I
Flaming
see.
door and the flaming lamp and fire.
Speaking of fire, there's a lovely series I have there, and they actually all made it into the book, of a lampshade
Yep, that's the flaming lamp.
that's slowly flying. So tell me the story about the lampshade.
I was low on ideas and I needed something and I wanted to use fire and I'm like,
What did you light it with?
Also kerosene.
That's safe.
Yeah. Well, we needed it to catch.
It did.
It caught. There was no shortage of that. I was actually afraid that I was going to be fired upon. Yeah, I don't know what it is with fire. 9 chances out of 10 when I do shooting, there's like 1 to 2 people around, so like I'm not actually in grave danger, and I'm also a scaredy cat. So
No one was ever hurt with 1 to 2 people around.
But like, at least I can say I had precautionary people.
Were there fire extinguishers present?
If I say yes, will you believe me? Actually, I think Drew actually had a bucket.
I feel like
of
I'm
water.
gonna get you a fire extinguisher for your birthday.
I have one in my kitchen.
Okay.
See,
good.
like I'm good for that.
Yeah.
But no, I think Drew actually did go to the waterfall that was like right behind us, and he had a bucket of water. So like we weren't completely without bits.
I feel like that old statistic that like 9 out of 10 accidents happen in the home, that 10% is because of you.
But I mostly shoot outside.
That's what I mean. You're the 10%.
Oh.
You're the accidents that happen outside the home.
Yeah. But like I haven't had any. Aside from the door falling, and like
That's
it
true.
only popped me on the head.
Remarkable.
And that's been it. Like there was one there actually, the mermaid one where I'm on the rock under the net. That's all pack ice, and I follow the rules, and I'm not a stubborn person. So I would not go out onto the pack ice. However, there was ice up on the actual ground, and I slipped like a son of a gun, and I ripped my knees apart moments before doing this photo.
Yeah.
So, topless me with my little mermaid tail, or like, I think I had like leggings on underneath the tail to actually like get up there, and I'm like scurrying across the rocks, and my boot hits the rock, and it slips, and like, I had the common sense enough during my like 2.5 second fall to move my hand up between my head and the ground because there was like a rock. So like I ripped the crap out of my hand. My knee was gone. A family pulled up and I'm like this half mermaid human morbid scene on the ground, half in tears, but like really cold and numb, but like really wanted to get the photo done. But like,
well, you want to get the photo done because like I'm spoiled because all my adventures are sitting at this chair writing. You know what I mean?
Still counts.
But like, but I mean, if you've damaged yourself, like if you've hurt your knee or you've hurt your hand or something like that, I imagine it goes like, okay, well, I don't want this to have been for nothing. Let's at least get the photo.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I've ever actually given up on a photo. It'd take a pretty catastrophic
Good call not going
event.
out on pack ice.
Well,
I've done it and
no.
it's bad. It's
And see, I'll never do that. I can never bring myself. I'm a very law-abiding citizen, aside from randomly setting stuff on fire for like mall photos.
Yeah.
But like even
aside
that,
from all the arson.
yeah, of course. But yeah, like I'm afraid of everything, and this is a literal thing. Like I'm terrified of the the dark and sounds in the dark and good creaky things. I'm always convinced there's like somebody looking in through my windows. Like everything scares me. Like I'm that type of person. So even if I know that that's like only like 2 centimeters deep or whatever, and it's like ice, like I'm not going out on there.
No, should you?
So yeah, I'm all about it. That's why I'm on a rock, which is firmly on the ground amongst the other rocks.
Most of these look fairly safe, I will let you know. But that's,
I mean,
we're concerned. They're concerned.
Well, there's one in there where I'm like on a swing on a tree. I think we had 2 goes of that, and then the rope broke, so I fell out of the swing in the tree. That was kind of fun.
We have different definitions of fun. There's a really lovely shot of you just by a fence, and it's one of the rare ones that, to my knowledge, unless you point out something that I'm missing, it's not terribly fantastical. Like, it looks like it should be on billboards for Tourism Newfoundland.
It could be. It's out around Lumsden, actually. We were out that way with Drew's family for a little while, and there's just these fields of purple flowers, which you can kind of see in the
They're
foreground.
irises.
There you go, irises. They were everywhere, and the ocean was out there, and it was like sand, and it was warm. It was really picturesque. So there was this whole area. I actually spent like the morning going around with Drew and his mom, and she was super excited to be involved in the process and just like fix my wig or like pull out my dress or
That's a wig?
Oh my god, yes. My hair was very pink under there.
Okay.
Come on now. Come on. But yeah, she was like off to the side, just kind of like waiting and like, oh. She was really proud. So there's a bunch from that morning, but it's pretty chill. Somehow my ideas have gotten a little bit more crazy since then. I'm finding it really hard to just sort of sit down and take like an easy, sort of non-complicated portrait lately.
It looks lovely, and it looks like from the very little that I know about photography or that I remember from school, it looks like a wonderful day for a shoot. Like, it looks like mostly overcast, sunny but overcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice diffused day, bright as hell, but it was even, so it worked out pretty well.
What's in your hand?
Oh yeah, cattails.
That always amazes me. I just zoomed right. No one can see, but I just zoomed in to see what was in her hand. It amazes me, like, how high def the photos are. Like, you can zoom right in, and it looks perfect. It's crazy to me.
Got them skills.
Okay, so there's one here. There's one we've actually used it as a poster for Engine. You'll be able to see it at the at all our events and stuff like that.
Is that going to Sci-Fi? Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
So that'll be the main thing at Sci-Fi that's going to be up on the booth. We got a booth. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, but there's a photo of you with a book open and a bunch of pages thrown about and stuff like that.
Yep.
How did you create this special effect?
So this took about 45 minutes. I had a wedding show that morning, so I was pressed for time when I got home, and the sun was going down. I think it was cold outside, so I'm like, I'm not doing anything outside today. So for the book, I'm pretty sure I've actually just got a cell phone flashlight inside the book, and it's just...
It works.
Shining up into my face. Tripod set pretty low, and then the camera and everything right in front of me. I've got a remote tucked inside the book that I'm using to set off the photo.
Interesting.
And I had Drew throw pages at me for a solid 45 minutes until I had the right photo where there was enough just pages around me that I was content with. So I'd sit there and I'd hold the book open and I'd be like, okay, let's go, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'd be like, oh, to sort of get that shocked look on my face. I've got to actually do it. And he's just going with the pages, like making it rain. And it was either all or nothing. This was a labor of love to get that many pages, because you'd see like the corner of 2, or they'd all be blocking me, or there'd be like a really cool page flip and then like just 8 blurry ones that I wasn't content with. So I'm a picky mofo, but this one actually worked out really well. The framing of everything is like I couldn't have asked for better. But 45 minutes, sat down in my living room. By the time we were done, it was dark. So
yeah,
it was an adventure.
That seems to be the word for you. Just adventure.
Yeah.
Yep. Magic. You didn't know, I think, before this, how beloved you were in the community and how many people admired your work. It's different when it's for sale. You know what I mean?
It's creepy when it's for sale. I'm still convinced that half of this is a hoax, and there's just a million fake accounts out there, and I'm just inside of a bubble.
Half of the print run of your books are gone already, and it's only been 2 months. Yeah. But did you ever expect such a big response?
I guess it depends on the day you ask me. I don't know. I think some of the things that I'm doing are kind of cool, and from what I understand, there isn't too many people around town sort of taking this avenue with like the stuff that they're doing.
There are a few, but yeah.
I haven't come across any other like self-portrait photographers who are like stuck in this and like this is what they're doing and this is what they do, daily or religiously. And like those, the one girl that I did was Kaylee, and she's the magical list of humans. And the Shagger abandoned me for the States. So she's gone now, but like I haven't really found anybody else, because I would love to sit down and just pick somebody else's brain or like merge or like,
I'm here.
Be friends.
I'm helpful.
Are you a self-portrait photographer?
No, but you can bounce ideas off me. I came up with the Guess Who one.
Yes, you did, and that stupid 53rd week threw me for a loop. But like I don't know. I guess it's kind of weird to.
I've gone back and checked, and there were several other weeks, years when they were 53, but you didn't do it. So you need to go back and do photos in your own style. The last few, it's lined up. I'm just kidding. Well. I was going to say, I went back through because it wouldn't slip by me. Maybe in the first year when I did it, but even that lined up because it was. So I wonder if it'll actually be. Will there be one with only 51 Sundays? Because it would have to be for it to make sense, right?
There might be, but I'd be sad.
Yeah.
53 was hard because it was an extra photo, but cutting out a photo would just throw off.
So you say that now because you're at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year.
I'm still hurting. It's been yesterday. It was a crapshoot. I had no idea what I was doing.
It was nice yesterday.
But like my original
plan was like a magical tea party thing from what I looked at.
Something like that. So like I woke up in the morning and I had a band gig and it was fine, and it was like overcast and not windy but like cold, but like because it wasn't windy it wasn't too bad, and I'm like, this is great. I'll get outside and something will be great. And Value Village had a half off sale, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna go thrifting. I'm gonna get like a wicked prop or like something to use for this photo, and then we're gonna shoot outside and it'll be great. And I was in at Value Village for like 3 minutes and it was snowing sideways, and I'm like, okay, so I guess we're shooting inside today. And then I sulked on my couch for about an hour and a half because I had no ideas, and I was like, I've had this theory or this idea in my head to do something with like oddly stacked teacups or teapots or something and have like a weird tea party kind of thing, but I couldn't logistically stack the cups without either gluing them or wiring them or breaking them. So after I sulked for a while, she was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try, and if it works then you can do this. And I'm like, okay, fine. And it worked. So we actually stacked the teacups. We filled them with road salt and then we just stacked them and balanced them strategically, and
nice.
And it worked out, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
But like I don't ever really know what I'm doing when I'm going into a shoot.
Well, it seems like you do, and that's what matters.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I can tell, I'll tell you after the photo that this is what went wrong, but as long as you can see it and you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
One of these days, the photo that makes it on Sunday is going to be like a photo of you weeping over the broken remains of a prop. And you're just going to call it disappointment.
There is a photo from yesterday when I was pouring the tea and then all of the teacups fell over.
Yeah.
That's going to be in the story time. Nothing broke.
That's good.
But there was a sad face and it sort of resembles what you were talking about.
Okay.
But that won't be the one that makes it. That's not going to be it. It's,
okay.
We've already settled. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's wonderful. So, if any writers out there in the province are interested, you can catch Kit's work on in Kit Sora, the Autobiography, which is on sale wherever fine books are sold. But also, if you are a member of the Writers Alliance of Newfoundland and Labrador, which you should be, her work is going to be on the cover of the winter edition of Word. One of her first photos from this year of herself in a net is the cover of the winter edition of Word, which is coming out this month. So you can look forward to that. She is doing her best. We are sad it is winter.
I'm not quite done with the snow yet, though. I just need a good snowy day. But, like, without the wind.
Yeah. I like it when it just snow, like inside a snow globe.
Yeah, like, just let it, big puffy, let it fall. Just one more day like that. Or, like, one day that, like, the city shuts down that I can just shoot on, like, a Wednesday or, like, a Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And just, for fun. That'd be kind of cool.
Do you want to be a good shot? You, like, as a fairy princess, like, with a staff or something, standing and, like, with your hand out, stopping a plow. Do you know anyone who can work a plow?
No, if I did, I would have used it long ago.
Yeah,
I have so many ideas. Actually, I need a crane. Is what I really need.
Like one of those big cat cranes?
Like an actual crane, yeah.
Okay.
I have this crazy idea for
We'll
suspending stuff.
we'll figure out who the guys who keep robbing those stores are. We'll get in contact with you. It'll be fine.
Yeah. There's no money in it for you, but
Afterwards, you'll put in an anonymous tip and everything will be fine.
yeah, this is totally fine.
Yeah.
You can find me.
Anything for our listeners before we take off?
Thanks for listening to my awkward voice for however long we've been talking.
Not awkward at all, but
No,
thank you very much for coming on the Right Project podcast.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Check out Kit Sora, the autobiography in stores now.
In stores now.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for coming on again. For all of you, we'll be here again next week at 4:30 Newfoundland time or online at chmr.ca. Please tune in and we'll talk more about writing culture in Newfoundland.